We're praying for a lot of things to work here. Lighting, microphone, phone storage. Hi, my name is Taya. I am a poet from Vancouver, British Columbia. You may know me from Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'm starting to do longer form content on here. I want to talk about poetry, writing, school. I'm in university right now studying psychology. I'm very passionate about it. Books. Behind me where you guys are set up is just like so many books. Just like stacks and stacks of books. What else do I do? Oh, I used to play soccer very competitively. I played semi-professionally for 2 years. And yeah, I have like a list at I'm a self-published author, poet. Oh, I'm holding my book upside down. I'm a self-published poetry book author. And my first book, Supernova, came out 2 years ago. I can't believe it's been that long. This is a collection of love poems that I wrote during like the last couple years of like my teenage years, I guess. It's very special to me. I'm going to actually make an episode about the book specifically and how it came to be and everything that went into it. And I think maybe if you guys would like a video about like the self-publishing process, because it is a process, just let me know in the comments and I can make a video about how I went through that. Did I get an editor? How did I edit the book? How did I compile it, format it? What software I used? All of that stuff. Let me know in the comments if that would be a video you'd be interested in. My hair is not looking so nice today. It's a little bit crazy, so hat is on. Hopefully you can see my face. I have some natural light from the window. And I hope you like the setup. I also want to make a video about my room. It is super cute. It's probably my favorite like space ever. It's just has everything that I love except the walls. I hate the paint in here. I don't know if you can see it because I'm probably going to edit it out. But the walls are yellow and this is the only wall behind me that is like a brown color, like a neutral tone. But the yellow is just not, it does not look nice. We've been trying to find a paint and figure out when to paint because I think you're supposed to paint in the summer so that it doesn't like, the paint fumes don't like stay in the room. Well, I guess you could paint in the winter and open the window, but it would be cold. So anyways, I go off on a lot of tangents. If you've ever heard my podcast, Always Mid-Sentence with Taya Shoker, that's my podcast. Yeah, I have a really hard time sticking to one thing. Anyways, yeah, a room tour would be super fun to do. Today's video is how poetry helps me in my everyday life, why I write, and just like how foundational it is to my life. I have been writing since forever. I think the first thing I probably ever wrote was like one of those books where you just take like printer paper and fold it in half and then just staple it. And I probably wrote something like about this made up place with like characters and it was probably half finished. I am pretty notorious for just starting projects, lots of projects, and I do finish a lot of them, but I think I just have so many ideas, especially like book ideas and poem ideas, that they don't all get written. And I think that's just part of the process. That's just part of being creative, like having ideas for art and then not completing them. And that's okay. We can do that. And it kind of pains me actually to not complete art because it feels like undeveloped potential, like something that I could have made that like, it just feels like a loss. Like something that didn't get turned into anything. I don't know. It's just sad to me. Anyways, though, I write a lot. And like I said, I've been writing since I was very young. Probably like when I was maybe 6 or 7. The biggest influence for my writing is definitely my mom. She is the one that has always supported me reading. She taught me how to read. She put me in French immersion because she wanted me to be able to know 2 languages. And like, I think like her influence with just literature and stories and communicating has been very profound for me and has really shaped me in a lot of ways that I probably don't even realize. It's just like a mom's influence is just, well, any parent you're close to, the influence of like a parent or guardian or like mentor figure can just be so profound that you can't quite like quantify it. And I think that's my feeling with my mom is just how close we are and how much I respect and adore her, I think has really influenced me. Even like for psychology, I feel like she has really played a part into my interest in it and me pursuing that. I think for me, poetry in particular came into my life during a time when I was feeling a lot of feelings. I feel like we all go through that period of like being like a teenager and just starting to just experience all these new experiences and relationships and friendships and the like destruction and reconstruction of your life. Like you go through so many changes, and with every change comes like uncertainty and fear and anxiety and love and passion and friendship and closeness and vulnerability. And I was just going through all of that while at the same time I had a iron deficiency. I do think that some of my like emotional turmoil was coming from that and not purely like unrequited love, but I started writing like just prolifically around that time, probably when I was 15 or 16 years old, and I think I couldn't sleep at night unless I wrote something. Like I had to be writing every day, and writing helped me fall asleep at night. Like I couldn't really like put those thoughts and emotions away or like pin them or put them in a box unless they were written and like alive somehow, I guess. And for me, the writing component of like experiencing all of that was like the outlet. I'm a verbal processor, so for me, anything that I experience or go through or I'm thinking, I need to like talk about it. And I only laugh because I know how much I talk, and I know that my friends and family know that, but I can't stop. It's just like, it's a part of how I move through the world, being able to talk about what's happening in my head. And I've often described this feeling to my family as, specifically my mom actually, as like everything in my head is like maybe like washing machine. Like it's all just tumbling around in there, and it's really hard to tease out like a pattern or a flow between the thoughts because there's just so many. And then once I speak, somehow for some reason those like connected thoughts that are just all scrambled up, they actually piece themselves together when I talk. So it's not until I start talking about something that it starts making sense to me. So I kind of like speak it out, and then I take what I said and I put it back in my head. So I'm like, oh yeah, when I was telling you about that last week, because now that like dialogue is something that I can refer back to as like what made sense for me. I don't know if anyone else experiences this, because I don't think my family members can relate to what I am describing, but if this is something you do, maybe you also understand like the verbal processing. And if you make art, if you're a writer or a poet, maybe you understand how much that art means to you, because for me, part of the reason why I must write, like I have to write, and I can't stop writing even when I'm busy and I have other things, I still kind of come back to like reading and writing. It's just so like foundational to my life. It's very grounding. I think that writing really is for me like a processing thing where I'm putting all of my experiences and feelings and thoughts into something that makes sense, and they don't make sense until I write it, until it comes out some way. So for me, like the poetry and the writing and any kind of like just putting thoughts on paper is very grounding. It helps get me out of my thoughts as well. It helps me have new thoughts. This is something I'm just realizing right now. When I write, I feel like it clears up my head so that I can now think new things, if that makes any sense. Because it's like I have things taking up cognitive capacity, and then once I like get them out of my head, now I have like more cognitive capacity. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how it feels for me. So that's part of the reason why writing is so important to me. And for poetry in particular, I think that there's something for me about rhymes and about metaphors and about symbolism and the kind of story that can be told through a poem that can't be told through longer form writing, I think, is really powerful. I'm really drawn to that style. I've always had a hard time writing longer form. Even when I would write like short stories, I would get like criticism or like feedback from my teachers at the time. I have always been a very good writer, and like I got great grades in all my English classes. The one thing that I remember being something that I struggled with that I couldn't really fix was taking like my time with the story, like exploring the story and the characters in the world. I have always wanted to write a fiction novel based in some world that I make up with characters that are just completely mine, and I want to like develop that, but I have a really hard time taking my time because I just want to like rush to the conclusion. I think it's what I do with poetry is I just kind of like give the end like emotion as quick as possible, because I think that poems can really house like a lot of emotion, a lot of story, a lot of journey into very few words. I think that is like the art of poetry, is to be able to quantify or like catch lightning in a bottle. No, be able to like catch and contain an experience or an emotion or a journey or something that people can relate to in very few words, and be able to convey it very accurately and really pull you into that moment or that feeling or that experience. And I really love that poetry can do that so quickly with so few words, because that's always what I'm chasing. I love the emotion. I love reading a story and getting to the point where it's like everything is happening and you're just like, you're crying and you're like flipping pages so fast. Like that's my favorite part of reading like a fiction novel. So I think poems do that for me, and I think poems give me the ability to produce that experience for readers without going through the whole patient process of writing a full story, which I absolutely respect and wish I could do. I'm trying to get better at that. I'm trying to do that. It is like my dream in my lifetime to publish like a long novel, like 300 pages at least. So yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to get on here and explain why I love writing and poetry. And if you're someone who's not subscribed to my channel, who doesn't follow me, and you love writing and you love reading and you love storytelling and you think my room is cute, I would really appreciate a subscribe and maybe a like. And please leave a comment if you have any thoughts and ideas for future videos. Any of the things that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. If any of those things interest you, I would love to have you join our starry-eyed community. So with that, I will let you guys go, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!